Okay, folks, Mike's Instant Movie Reviews. I just saw Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, I believe the third of four theatrical releases for the Indiana Jones franchise. Raiders of the Lost Ark, the first one, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Some of you might know one of the movies, I think along with Gremlins, that inspired the PG-13 rating to come into being. Before then, there was just PG and R. People are approaching me as I'm trying to do my video here, so I don't know how that's going to go. But this movie, I thought, this third one I saw today. I saw the original Indiana Jones movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark, earlier in the year in the theater. I did not see the Temple of the Doom film, a comeback classic earlier in the year, so I guess I missed that. But here I was watching Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Now, some interesting things. I had totally forgotten that River Phoenix, now some of you may not even be familiar with River Phoenix, but he was the older brother of Joaquin Phoenix. So River Phoenix was a big deal back in the 80s and until 1994 when he passed away, unexpectedly, one night at what was called the Viper Room, which was an LA rock club where the Red Hot Chili Peppers and all these other miscreants of the 90s would hang out. And unfortunately, River Phoenix died one night in 1994 at that club, and it's a sad thing, but River Phoenix was a brooding young actor. Everyone really liked him. I don't think he had any feuds or any rivalries that I know of in Hollywood land, but he just died, I guess, from some type of concoction. And anyway, he's in this movie in the first about 15 minutes of it playing the young Indiana Jones. So you got this River Phoenix playing a young, basically Harrison Ford character, not that they're the same guy. And it was kind of interesting. I was always a big River Phoenix fan. I really forgot about this situation of him playing a young Indiana Jones. And he did a few things that I caught. You know, I've been around the block with acting, and look, it's always easier to pick out somebody else's foils and foul-ups. But he was kind of, in my opinion, acting like he thought Harrison Ford did Indiana Jones. In other words, he was doing some stuff physically, mostly with his legs. It was kind of awkward and just kind of stood out as like maybe trying to be over comedic or over exaggerated. And I mean, it's too late now. First of all, the movie was made in 1989. Second of all, River Phoenix is currently dead, so there's nothing we can do about it now. But it made me feel a little bit better about my own life and plight in life, that I could pick out this guy's choices that maybe weren't the best for my liking, but who knows. Basically, the whole setup of the River Phoenix as the young Indy, and I guess he'd be like a 14 or a 15 or a 16-year-old Indiana Jones, was how he got the hat. How he got the hat, and also some seeds being planted for a lifelong quest, I guess, or a lifelong rivalry that would come into fruition in the majority of the film, which was interesting. This movie sort of had a religious bent, almost kind of religious in the Christianity way, that this whole quest is for the cup of the blood of Christ. You know, and I guess I wasn't expecting that in this film. I had forgotten about it. You know, it's been years since I've seen this movie or thought about it. So this whole quest for the blood of Christ and the immortality that comes with it was just kind of lost on me. But that's what it was all about. And also this kind of relationship that, as far as I remember, only came into fruition or to existence in the third of these films, between father and son, or should I say son and father, Indiana Jones Jr. and his dad, which I thought was kind of interesting, because I think the first time I saw this film was with my own father. So that was kind of interesting. Now, the relationship, I think Sean Connery had a nice little diatribe in this film as the father, as Indiana Jones Sr., I guess, when he's saying to his son, hey, look, you know, I never told you to do your math homework. Never told you to go to bed on time. You know, basically, the Indiana Jones that we all know is giving his dad a hard time about the type of father that he was or wasn't, that he was never around for him. And, you know, Sean Connery as Indiana Jones Sr. saying, look, maybe I wasn't the regular 9-to-5 dad, but I never gave you all the dad cliches, which I thought was kind of cool. Kind of cool in a regular cool way, not in a sarcastic millennial way, by the way. So I enjoyed that. The other thing that really popped off the screen for me in this film, I mean, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm lonely, but it was the female lead, and I really didn't know who this actress was. I was like, is this Karen Allen? Who is this lady? But this was this woman who her character kind of went back and forth. I won't ruin it for you in case you haven't seen the film, but this woman was just, you know, this movie was made in 1989. This is the great, you know, 80s look for a female, you know, blonde, high cheekbones, thin but some curves on her, just really nice skin, and just a beautiful woman. And I was wondering, who is this lady? Where have I seen her before? And then when the fucking credits rolled, her name was like Allison Brody or something, Allison whatever the fuck, and I'm like, I don't know if I've seen this woman in any other fucking movie. So I mean, she really had a stunning look, kind of like a Sharon Stone type, but just elegant, classy, and her character was kind of interesting to me because her character kind of went back and forth and all over the place. And I did see a little thing in this movie, a spoiler, where both Indiana Joneses, father and son, have been in romantic relations with the character that she plays. And in one of my films, Thanksgiving, that I wrote and directed, you can see right here for free on the Mike Messier YouTube channel, Thanksgiving, you can see a similar theme come up and even explored at greater depth. So I'm just saying that when I wrote Thanksgiving, you know, 7 years ago, I was not thinking about Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade at all, but it's quite possible that there was some type of inspiration or a seed of inspiration planted in the garden of my imagination that came to fruition. So that's kind of interesting. So, you know, if the actor Nick Gifford is watching this video, he might take some type of pride that in this parallel he's being put in the Harrison Ford Indiana Jones spot. Unfortunately, the lead actor in the film that I wrote and directed, Bob, is no longer with us. And Lanisha, the actress, she's still around. But anyway, you can watch that film Thanksgiving right here on the Mike Messier original films list. As far as going back to this movie, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, I enjoyed it. I'll be honest, I did sleep. There was like I think just about a 10 or 15 minute thing. I had a really bad meal today. I went to Wawa, which in the South, or at least in Florida, is a gas station that has food. And for the most part, the Wawa menu is good. If it's like 2 in the morning and that's all that's open, it's good. But if you try to like have Wawa during the daytime, you're fucking yourself. And lesson learned. Like, there was plenty of options I could have gone to at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I did not have to go to fucking Wawa. And I got like this steak and fucking cheese macaroni bowl, and it just was not flavorful. It was just a lack of flavor. I put like some of those fucking pepper packets in there to try and liven it up. I put a hot sauce in there, and it was just not good. I ate it, but it wasn't good. I had a side of black beans. Those were fine. And I had a fucking like a $3 fucking 32-ounce mocha coffee. It was horrible. There was not enough ice. It was an iced coffee. Not enough ice. That's one thing you can never get straight with people. Like, you want your iced coffee ice. You want plenty of fucking ice. And they sometimes give you the amount of ice that they would give themselves, but that's not necessarily correlative with what I want for ice. And what do you do once you start sipping? You can't go back and demand more ice. I guess I could have, but I wasn't in the mood. And also, I tried to save some caloric intake, and I tried to order, I did order 2% milk instead of whole milk, and maybe that just ruined the taste. And I wasn't sure if there was sugar, liquid sugar going in this thing or what. I'm being distracted by this mom with her kids over there. I wasn't sure what was going on with the sugar or the whatever the fuck. It just didn't taste right. I had about 5 or 6 sips, and it was a huge drink, and I dumped the fucker out. And one thing, I try to be nice. I didn't just put it in a trash can. I dumped it in the leaves and so forth, so that whoever takes out that garbage at Wawa, like the bag doesn't explode and they get all that crap all over them. I try to be nice. So what else? I get into this theater. I was happy that, like, with this location that I'm at, you know, you get your movie ticket and it's always a song and a dance to even get in the theater, meaning that you can never just get to this theater and just go. You have to go through security. You have to get a temperature check. You get frisked. You get strip searched if you're lucky. And I just don't find that I can never get to the movies on time here. But today I did. I think there was like 5 or 10 minutes of previews, whatever the fuck, and I was actually in my rosy ass was in the seat when the movie started. I was happy. And then I proceeded to show my happiness by falling asleep. The Sean Connery character as the dad, I could be wrong, but it seems like he doesn't pop in till like 25 or 30 minutes into this film. I might have liked to have seen him in earlier. I think it might have been interesting to have some, I could be wrong, but I don't think there was any real interaction with Sean Connery and River Phoenix as young Indy. I think they alluded, like they showed the hand of the father character with young Indy, but they never interacted. I think there was a TV series called Young Indiana Jones that I never watched either, and I don't think there was River Phoenix on it. It was some other asshole. So, going back to this movie, I really thought this female lead, Allison, whatever her name is, I really thought that she was kind of the unsung hero. Like, a lot of these movies, and I can see where women get angry because, or actresses, as we discussed in my Forrest Gump video yesterday, and thanks for the kind feedback. People have been feedbacking on that with comments and thumbs ups and so forth, and share the videos. Thanks for Johnny Z for sharing my Jenny thing on Twitter. I appreciate that, buddy. But I can see where these women actresses get upset because some of these characters were very one-dimensional. In this case, the female character that Allison played, Elsa, she was more than one-dimensional. She was kind of a femme fatale, but I did find that she had a good character. Like, I thought she had a lot to work with. She could do a lot of things, which I thought was great. And she was a gorgeous actress, woman, and I would have, well, here we go. I'd like to see more of this woman in other things. So I don't know if anyone's Allison who played Elsa in Indiana Jones fan club member, but give her my regards. She's probably 60 or 70 years old now, or 60. I'm trying to do a video. Well, I'm not. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, thanks. Big Brother. I feel like I'm in that, what's that movie with, what's his dick? Pauly Young or Pauly Shore, where he's Biodome. I feel like I'm in kind of a Biodome situation right now. So that was my thoughts and feelings. The movie kind of picks up at the end. There is some good action in this movie. There's a cool special effect. You've probably seen in a meme or a GIF where, like, the bad guy, spoiler, drinks the blood of Christ and his head kind of like gets all old and decrepit because he drinks the wrong fucking thingamajigga because the chick sets him up. And now we got a black helicopter in the air. Watch this. So I don't know what's going on. So overall, I did enjoy the film. I did enjoy the action, the excitement. It's always fun to watch these movies from the past and see some of the special effects, which they kind of hold up. I mean, the thing with special effects, or FX as we call it in the business, is you have to, like, part of it is up to the imagination of the viewer. Like, you have to give the film some leeway. Like, you have to meet the film halfway. You know that this is a special effect. You know that this is movie magic, but you have to give the film some grace. And I think that's why the early films, like the early Godzilla films, the early King Kong films, were so successful, because the audience was willing to meet you, halfway there or 90% there, and give you this grace. Now people go to the movies, whether it's a fucking whatever the fuck, a Marvel movie or a DC movie, and it's like the audience is looking to tear the film apart and see the crappiness of the special effects. I remember maybe 10 years ago, maybe more, 16 years ago, wasn't there like one of the Incredible Hulk movies? They had 2 movies within 4 years of each other, and one of them had really bad special effects, and everyone sang a song about it. Everyone was upset. I think there was the Edward Norton one or the Mark Ruffalo one. It was one or the other. Anyway, overall thoughts and feelings. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. There times, to be honest, it kind of dragged. I felt like maybe this horse had gone out to pasture a few times too many. I can't say like I was riveted and rocked. To be honest, when I saw the first one, Raiders of the Lost Ark, I wasn't riveted and rocked either. When I saw that earlier this year, I don't know if I did a Mike's Instant movie review on that one or not, but in any event, this is how I feel. I could be wrong. I'm going to wrap things up now. Thank you very much. So please subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel. Like all the videos, comment at will, share the videos as some of you have been doing. You can make some requests. Some of the requests are getting a little obscure, but that's okay. I'm up for the challenge. Make your requests, make your comments, share the videos, like, subscribe, tell all your friends about it. Plenty of options here on the Mike Messier YouTube channel. You've got Mike's Original Films, Messier Mantra, my talk show, the Suicide Girls, Burlesque. You've got all these wonderful things. My interview with Bob Backlund, Ox Baker, One of the Boys, Blood Sugar Sedace, my film, The Impeccable, Disregard the Vampire. Hi, buddy. Hi. All types of wonderful things you can watch. Mike Messier. Enjoy your weekend.